Okay, today is Sunday the 20th, I believe. We're doing a little bit more today. Feeling better and better every day that goes by, especially since the sun is rewarding us with a nice bathing of gamma rays. Um, a little update. We've got the switch and volume control back in and connected up. There's Doggy right on cue. Uh, all the capacitors or E-caps are back in. We got the fusing in and the Y-cap for the hot side to ground. Um, just about all the wiring that's going to be replaced is replaced. I spent most of the day winding up some of the loose ends. Um, get my little pointer here, see if I can keep everything in frame. We've got the band switch back in a just a hand tight situation, and got most all of the connections back to the appropriate wafer layers. There are a few things that still left to be taken care of. Once I put this antenna coil and RF trimmers, get them remounted back in, I'll have to make the interconnects for those. Some of the wiring is already set for the the uh, opposite connection of the wafer band switch. Um, some of these will go to this oscillator coil. I still yet to clean up this oscillator coil and get new wiring on it. That will be done in the next segment. This about all we have left is less than a handful of connections to the band switch, which are the ones that are left from this coil and this coil, and of course this little loading coil here. It has to be done. So stay tuned. We're going to be continuing on. If I don't get to it today, I'll get to it first thing tomorrow. Well, maybe not first thing, second or third thing, because it still gets a little nipply out here in the mornings. So I usually don't get out here till about 11:30 or thereabouts, noon. And we'll get the rest of this rat's nest reconnected, and then we'll be a lot closer to getting the first fire up on this thing to get it checked out and see if it's going to scream at me. So stay tuned for more. Yeah. Okay. Got a little bit more done today. Today is Monday, President's Day, the 21st, I believe. Yes. My doctor is tomorrow. Okay. Back on this 633, we managed to get the bottom all back intact, and I hope ready to go. The next step will be to put a power cord on it and get it checked out. That might happen tomorrow, weather permitting. It's getting blustery today. You know, during wind last night, nearly took out my darn above ground planter. Um, well, at least my seedlings, because I grow peppers and tomatoes. Peppers are the key to longevity. If you can take them, your system will be really strengthened by the capsaicin. And as my grandfather used to eat 3 of those yellow waxies. I haven't seen them anymore too much anymore. I look for them, but I never can find them. The next closest thing I would call would be banana pepper, a blazing banana pepper, blazing banana, not a banana pepper. Those ain't got no heat. But the blazing bananas get a little tart, and it'll spike your tongue, and it'll get those doggone antibodies messing with each other. So I grow them every year, along with some strawberries, and I used to have a couple of nectarine trees, plants, or whatever you call it, but one got diseased and died out after a couple of years, and the other one is still kind of holding on. It doesn't produce as much, but it produces nice, good, sweet fruit. And then I got a peach tree. Yeah, but it hasn't produced in a couple of years. It tried this last year, but didn't, because I pruned it up pretty good a couple of years ago, and it's getting some legs. Okay, back to the chassis. We've got the entire band switch wired back in. Let's see if I can keep this in frame while I'm pointing at it. We replaced just about every darn wire in this cotton picker, as I could find, except for these that are mounted up on the oscillator RF trimmer assembly. But the off connections to the wafer switch, or the band switch, was replaced. Got the antenna coil back in, connected. The loading coil for the antenna back in, connected. All the interconnects for the residual pieces that I didn't get before putting in the coils are back in. All the caps are in. This here just barely made it. I mean, there's cap 17 down in there that came real close proximity. I was kind of hoping. Fortunately, I used a small miniature terminal strip that I get from Sal's Capacitor Corner, and they work really good in tight spots, especially in these Zeniths. They're kind of tiny. Let me see if I can. Yeah. There they are. These are miniature, and there's two grounded lugs, one off of each end. And what I do is I figure out how many of these I need, and then I cut what I need, and the rest goes in for the next situation. So that makes it really nice too. You order them in bulk, and you got a bunch. Okay, so let me see. All that is wound up. The tuner is back in. It's got new mounting rubbers, and the rotors are all connected up. The grounds on the things is all connected up. One resistor I had to replace. It was out of tolerance by about 50%. But I won't, well, yeah, I did replace this one over here, 47K, to the wave trap. It was a little out of balance, not feeling well, so I chopped it and replaced it. But I think that's about it for the bottom half. We've got it all nice and dolled up, ready for the prom. Okay, let me turn this thing over without injuring myself. The top half is looking really nice. It is all finished up. Of course, I had it finished up long before the recapping. All these loose ends here are going to go to the band switch. It's got to get cleaned. Well, it's already clean. This has been cleaned up for a couple of weeks now. And then these are going to interconnect to it. And then I'm going to make up a new shielding for it, protective shielding for the thing, because this one here has seen its day. And then I'll be able to jump into the tone controls and get them pre-wired and get them dressed out. The transformer's all set and ready to glow. It's finished off in a oil rubbed bronze metallic, and my typical finish for the chassis is titanium silver metallic, and then it's hit with about 3 coats of clear. So the tuner's all back on, the drum is there, and all we got to do is manage to get the dial plate looking decent. Let me see how I haven't even looked at it today. It's I mean, it might look all right on camera, but I'll have to see what it looks like behind the glass once everything is back on it. So that is yet to be wound up. And then I got the, I showed you this before. I got the, these are for the push button assemblies. It goes on the left side. And this here is the tone controls that goes on the right side. And of course there are the buttons for the push button assembly. And here are the, if I can get them out, here are the buttons for the tone control. Push button assembly, or tone control, yeah. Okay, so anyway, that's it pretty much for today. Doggy is screaming at me, and we're going to wind it up and get this thing published up along with the previous segment and get it posted. So stay tuned, there's going to be a lot more coming.